Mr. Schaub, sorry for your loss.
All right, guys, welcome back to Into the Bapaverse. I haven't done this probably like, what, 2-3 months already. Haven't watched a lot of Brendan Schaub, but we're gonna do what we always do and look at some of the highlights from the subreddit, from the Fighting the Kids subreddit. So I'm gonna show you this clip where it shows Brendan going throughout the whole year. It's gonna show a lot of crucial moments in this past year with Brendan, and you know, all of the trouble he gets into. So let's start the clip here.
Welcome to 2024. This is Montrose, Colorado. You're a Colorado boy.
Yeah, born and raised.
I think this time I just don't care. That's where I'm at. I gotta be home more. I'm gonna pull back from touring so much. And I just
once in a while. Honest question though, is Tony Hinchcliffe one N-word away from being added to the Golden Hour podcast?
Look, there's Harry! Mr. Schaub.
Say that again for the audience. They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You call that a moose knuckle?
That's just my nuts.
That's in this room.
That's me nuts. That's me
What
nuts.
you gonna do? Volume punch me?
But if we're being honest, leave this, Chin. Don't edit this out.
It's the thick boy. It's the thick. 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 Come on, face, let's roll. It's the thick. Come on, face, let's ride. It's the thick. Come on, face, let's roll. It's the thick. Come on, face, let's ride.
Let's ride, Thicky.
We wanna ride with the thick boy. Brand new whip, new drip boy. Walk right in, got a lit boy. Came right back with the hits boy. 98, everything thick gold. Ain't really mess with the kid back then. Not everything that I do big boy. That's how you know you're rocking with the thick boy. Boy.
People call it peach delight.
Mr. Schaub.
So what's been happening in the Fighter and the Kid subreddit? And basically, it's been a lot of making fun of Brendan for looking like, I guess, the guy from Ice Age. I mean, I guess maybe like he has the shape of a Neanderthal. I guess that's the joke here. Brendan's wife, I guess this subreddit is still obsessed with Brendan's wife. Also, we still got Joe Rogan. We got Anthony Jeselnik. All your favorite characters from the Bapaverse are back. But we're going to start first with Chin here. This one's called, Finally, Chin admits that his boss caused his neck injury. Now, if you guys don't know, there was a lot of assumptions of what happened to Chin. And Chin is Brendan Schaub's producer. And he does do appearances occasionally throughout the show. Especially these. I think this episode, they're more dedicated to the producers of Brendan shows. And they like to talk about stuff, right? But I guess there was an AMA kind of thing here. And they asked him if Brendan was the one responsible for hurting Chin's neck. And I'll show you the clip. This clip will come with that scene of what happened there. So we're going to watch it. Then I'll show you other clips that kind of give you some more context there of the whole situation.
You have some neck problems, huh?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that? How'd that happen?
Brian and Brendan.
All right, on to round two. Jeff.
Good stuff. Get to know the guests. Good questions, Nick.
Thank you.
You're great.
She convinced me not to ask about Brian's transition from network TV to online platforms.
Okay.
Which I think was a good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to keep it light. You want to keep it light. It's one thing to call somebody stupid. It's
Yeah, what happened there, guys, with Brian not being on national TV anymore and just being on YouTube and on the internet? You know,
and Chin's question is just really just on the spot. But
Chin, how do you feel?
Great answer.
Which question?
I said when I said, "Hey, you've had some neck problems. What happened?"
Oh,
you go, Brendan and Brian.
You know the story behind that, though, right?
Yeah, you got guillotined.
No, here's the thing.
Is that
it wasn't a guillotine. It was a a necktie, I think it's called, a neck crank, a seatbelt neck crank. The poster said that he's very well aware of this, and it can cause serious injury. And if you're using it on somebody that doesn't know anything, like basically a beginner, if you're using this on a beginner, then it's gonna mess up their neck, and yeah, it's very, very dangerous.
Let me preface it
No,
with
it was a Darce, Nick.
Oh, Darce.
I love them both.
Brendan, first Darce in heavyweight history, Matt Mitchell.
Yeah. So let me preface it with, they've been awesome to me. However, Brian was like, you need to feel Brendan's power. I'm like, and he's like, you got to do me and Brian against Brendan, just like, grappling. And I'm like, no, bro, I don't want to do this right now because I have not like lifted weights in forever. I haven't trained or whatever. And he's like, no, you got to feel it. So he finally did it. And then suddenly, as we're doing...
To remind you guys, Chin is closer to Brian's age than Brendan. You don't listen to Brian there. Chin is a lot older than Brendan, and Brendan is dumb. He will injure him. So not good advice from Brian there.
Doing it. Brendan's obviously strong. He's a fucking ox. He's like throwing me away, throwing Brian away, and then eventually you can see in the video, it's just me and Brendan, and then Brian kind of just leaves. It was supposed to be me and Brian against Brendan. He just leaves. And I'm so stubborn. I'm so stubborn with like this shit. So he got me into like a weird thing where on the floor, and I didn't want to tap. So he kept going. He goes, just tap it, just tap. And I'm like, all right, fine, I tapped. But it was already like way past like before I should have tapped.
So there is a problem with a lot of people not tapping because of their pride, right? They're like, I don't want people to think that I'm weak. But bro, if you're fighting against if you're getting challenged against a former UFC fighter, and you already know you have no experience of that, just tap out, say like yell or something, dude. Like that's gonna mess up your neck.
I said what happened, and you said Brendan and Brian. I would say ego, Chin. Yeah. I would say ego.
Hey, by the way, I'm an adult. I agree to this thing, so it's all good, man. It's all good. I'm not gonna like blame them, but that guy Jesse on Fire.
Mm-hmm.
It popped up in my feed like afterwards. He's like, dude, they did nothing to Chin. He's like, nah. He only showed like a portion of the video.
Oh, you mean Jesse on Fire, the Thick Boy Awards winner? You probably understand why he took his side, right? Like Brandon was glazing him up, because during the time when Brandon was getting all that shit, Jesse on Fire was always just supporting him and pretty much saying the opposite.
I hope this doesn't like mess shit up.
Oh,
he showed a portion, not the full video, right? Not the full video where I'm like on the ground, because he's trying to like defend Brendan. By the way, I'm not suing, not doing anything else. It was a fun thing, and I agreed to it, so it's all good. I spoke too much.
Anyways, going into for surgery.
I think also the reason why he probably didn't want to sue him is because he works with him. And imagine how crazy the dynamic will be if he's like, I'm considering suing you, Brendan. You did mess me up. It's like, nope, you're about to get gadooshed out of that podcast company. And that's why he didn't want to. But it also, in fairness too, it was his fault for not saying anything and hiding the pain.
Surgery tomorrow.
Anyway, we're setting up a Patreon to pay for his medical bills.
Someone calls the Peaches Delight of Thick Boy Network.
So there you have it there. Chin admits to it, but Chin also does deny it back then. And here's one of those clips where he denies it. And also Brendan does. He's like, I didn't do it, right, Chin? I didn't do it. Here's this clip called Brendan still openly denying injuring Chin.
He threw me like a rag doll.
Yeah, because he's big.
All of them versus
Dude,
different weight class.
No, it's also technique. But so there's a black belt.
But Chin, people think I messed up your neck.
No.
The neck thing came like weeks after.
Chin's face. He thinks you messed up his neck too.
We talked about this many times before.
It came from the two guys.
So I beat them. I won that war.
So there you go. He denies it. They're saying like, it wasn't me. It was actually not me, bro. And then Brian says like, yeah, it was actually those other two guys. Meaning those other two guys, meaning the Short Kings, had the quote unquote Short Kings. They were other producers and assistants. They also did the same thing to Chin and Brian to like get him out of the studio as fast as they could. I guess this is the best thing I could find. So here is that clip what they're talking about.
Hold on. Get over here. You just fuck up the sign, man.
Jump through the arms. Get your arms. Because I can. All right, ready?
Wait, they have 30 seconds to get him out.
Yeah, set, go.
Yes, Chin. Yes, okay, Chin. Get out.
Come on, Chin, you got it. Chin, Chin, you got it. Chin, you got it. Love resist our matches. No, Chin. No, Chin. You ain't losing. Oh.
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen.
Chin won. It just broke the line.
You can keep going.
Chin won. Chin won. Now it's 30 seconds.
Oh, we're still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't as bad as I think Brandon's was. Like they did a lot of pushing there, and he looked like he just hit the couch there, or no, not the couch, but the wall, and then it turned off the light. But compared to Brandon, who like put him in a freaking neck crank, yeah, that's very different. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that it was good for Chin to hide this whole information or try to keep this down low? Let me know what you guys think about that and comment down below.
Where's paying your life?
Let's go to the next clip. This one's called Quarter. Comedian sent in videos congratulating Jeselnik on his special. This is what head chef AJ had to say. Thankem. So let's play this clip here and I'll give you some context later.
Shark bit on Chobb. Yeah. I'm thrilled with it. I just remember there was one where I won't say the comic's name, but anyone watching this could guess who I'm talking about, where he had put out a special and they ran like a clip of all of his friends, and no one said he was funny. Everyone just kept saying, like, you work so hard, man. No one works harder than you. You're such a grinder. And he's, like, crying. That would be very funny to do again. But thank you to everyone who gave me a sarcastic or a legitimate shout-out.
So context of this video is that Anthony Jeselnik is just making fun of Brendan Schaub because there was this video that supposedly his producer made for him because of the Gringo Poppy special that he did, and people were congratulating him on his success for a comedy special on YouTube, and he had his family and his supposed friends, fellow comedians congratulating him on releasing the special.
It's rewind time.
I think you'd be surprised.
A shark bit on Chobb. Yeah. I'm thrilled with it. I just remember there was one where I won't say the comic's name, but anyone watching this could guess who I'm
It's Brendan Schaub, our guy.
Talking about, where he had put out a special and they ran like a clip of all of his friends, and no one said he was funny. Everyone just kept saying, like, you work so hard, man. No one works harder than you. You're such a grinder. And he's, like, crying. That would be very funny to do again. But thank you.
So yeah, he did started crying.
What's up, buddy? Congratulations. Gringo Poppy. It's pretty cool. Your second special. You took your time on this one. I was scrolling through Instagram and there's this guy working out. He's doing something. And the voiceover says, people aren't proud of you. They're just surprised you keep making shit happen. You ever think about that? And I thought to myself, no, I'm not surprised you keep making shit happen. I'm just proud of you. That's a big difference. I'm proud of you because this has been a motherfucker. And I think in the darkest 2 years that we've met, for us anyway, that we've met.
Oh my God. He just made it about himself. He's like, yeah, me getting canceled, you couldn't really handle it yourself. Yeah. We had a disaster, dude, but dude, with all that, you had a comedy special. Congrats.
We've met. You kept kicking the sandbag down the road. And here we are. You did this special. It's very exciting. I remember when you texted me and you said, I'm just really excited because I captured on camera what I've been working for. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You're the toughest guy I know. And I love watching you take a leadership role. I love watching what you've built and what you continue to build. I love the fact that you are becoming somebody who's becoming more compassionate, more loving, more understanding as you get older and as you get more successful. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's the definition of a leader. I think you're embracing your best side, your best self. And I love you. I love you for being there for me in, probably the darkest, not probably, but definitely the darkest time of my life. But you were always there, man. And I think you've been a leader in this fucking whole thing because you were just like, fuck all these people and circle the wagons. So,
dude, just be yapping more than me, dude.
What can I say, my friend? I'm not surprised. I'm just proud. I'm excited as well. All right.
You to everyone who gave me a sarcastic or a legitimate shout out.
And Anthony Jeselnik always finds the time to make fun of Brendan Schaub. And he made his own for his comedy special on Netflix.
Aaron, you have something for us?
Yes. While we're on the subject of thank yous, I got a bunch of videos from comedians thanking you, Anthony.
You know, every 4 years in this wonderful country, we have a presidential election. And both parties, Republican and Democrat, love to bring up Joe's six-pack. You know, how hard he works. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, and goddamn it, he gets in that truck and he makes sure, you know, that fentanyl gets to that pharmacy, right? And they're always talking about how we should be inspired, you know, by Joe's six-pack. And this is the person. This is the real hero, the hard-working man of America. But, you know, none of them ever bring up how hard Anthony Jeselnik works. You know why? Because they were afraid. They were afraid to set the bar that high because they know that none of us can live up to that. And that is a burden that man has to carry day in and day out. And he does it, still looking that good. Just some words of information. Not information, inspiration, I guess. See, look at that. Wow. Maybe if I worked harder, I could have landed this video.
So, like, the main point of this is to, like, have them say, like, yeah, you're a hard worker. You're the hardest worker I've ever seen. You know, it's like, the hard work pays off. And that's some of the things that were said in the Brendan's video as well. But it just didn't seem very honest.
I think you'd be surprised.
You're probably wondering, like, why is Anthony always making fun of him? Why is he always targeting Brendan Schaub? I would have to guess is because one time Brendan thought that he was better than Anthony Jeselnik and tried to give him some advice. And Anthony took it as, really, dude, you're going to give me advice?
I've said some like really mean stuff, but it's like I've got to give you some rope.
Mhm.
You know, there was a comic who just kept giving me advice. This is like a couple months ago. Just kept being like, oh, you should do this as a podcast. You should do this. And I'm like trying to be polite for as long as I can. And finally, I'm like, if I need any more career advice, I'll let you know. And the room laughed, and the guy was like, oh yeah, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. And everyone was like, that was really funny. I'm like, I wasn't trying to be mean, but he like didn't give me any choice.
Yeah. You know, it's very widely known that a lot of people don't think that Brendan Schaub is funny, and he doesn't deserve to be in that position. Even his former friend and enemy now, Mark Harley, also put it into a perspective, right?
I saw him and Anthony Jeselnik talk before a show one time in the green room, and he had referenced a time before when he was like trying to like give Anthony Jeselnik advice, and it was in front of other people, and he kind of framed it as like, oh yeah, Anthony snapped at me, but I'm like, well yeah, you were trying to like, he's one of the greatest living comics, dude. You know what I mean? Like his specials crush, like, and he's also like, he's kind of got this mystique where like, he doesn't even need to use Instagram or social media. It's just like, you know, like when Anthony Jeselnik drops a special, like I'm watching it, you know? And I've seen him perform enough times where like, he's just, you obviously know it's like, he's all about comedy and doesn't give a fuck. And, Brendan tried to say, he's like, oh yeah, well you should try to like this. And like, he was kind of giving him like, cause Brendan in his mind is like, oh, well, I'm like a business and marketing guy, so I'm trying to give Anthony Jeselnik advice. But he made it seem like he's like, Anthony's talking this way. And it's kind of like, hey, Brendan, I think I got it. Like he like gives him like, he says that and like winks at him. I'm like, that was Anthony Jeselnik's way of being like, hey, you fucking idiot. Don't ever talk to me about anything relating my career.
So, yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Should Anthony Jeselnik keep on roasting Brendan Schaub, or should he just kind of quit it and leave the guy alone, you know? Personally, I think, I don't care, you know, it's more content for me.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Let's go to the next clip. So this post is called Running Out of People, though. The post has a picture of Hot Ones Sean Evans, and it says on the bottom here, on the bottom text says, Hot Ones has been sold for $82.5 million, right? And the meaning of this, the context of this is because of what Brendan said about Hot Ones. And he thought that Hot Ones was, I guess, they're having like a downfall, right? And the reason why he said that is because he was trying to compare it with his show that he used to do, Food Truck Diaries, right? And Chin, his producer, kind of was like, I don't think so, dude. They're doing really, really, really good. Like, they have millions of views. So we're gonna watch that clip so you guys can understand how Chin kind of humbles him, because everything he says, it's just completely the opposite, right?
What is it like?
They've kind of ran out of people. I get it, you know, like Food Truck Guy. We ran out of people. You're just like, how many times do we keep doing this?
No, but
so with him, it's like, all right.
No, they're getting more famous and more famous as it goes.
I don't think so, Chip.
Yeah, I actually watch it. So
I don't think so, bud. I don't think so.
We disagree on this, but I believe they have way more famous people on as of late.
But just because you have famous people on doesn't mean the views are up.
The views are great.
Are they?
They're always in the millions.
It's still what it is. Yeah. Go to their page.
The last one was a soccer player. I'm not familiar with him, but he's super
massive.
famous.
Yeah, massive.
I don't know if you can kind of say like is Brendan playing a character here, or is this a bit? Like, can we give him credit here, or is this genuinely him not knowing that Hot Ones is massive, right?
That's 4
Ryan
days
Reynolds,
ago.
Hugh Jackman has 29 million views. That was 1 month ago.
Yeah, they're killing it, dude.
Holy shit!
These are
one has 100.
older ones.
Gordon Ramsay has 128 million views. Yeah,
he's the best though. He's so entertaining.
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And this weird one here, 4 weeks ago,
even
Donald Duck,
dude,
20 million.
You're telling me Donald Duck?
That is some crazy production there. I haven't seen that episode, but by the way it looks, like they had to put a lot of money into that. And it's so funny because they just it's a simple premise, you know. You just eat hot wings and you get interviewed, right?
Has more views than Vince Vaughn. Keep going down.
Wait, a duck eating chicken, is that like cannibalism?
That is, dude.
That's why it's big. That's been.
That's like us eating monkeys or something.
Yeah, you're right, Jen. All right. Well,
he's like, you right, Chin. You right. Yeah. Well, actually, look, they're going down.
Man, Robin Roberts only 98.
Oh, but that's on Good Morning America.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
It's like, oh no, it's not really the Hot Ones channel. It's the freaking news channel.
Yeah, when they're his, they're big. I for some reason I thought they got bought out or something.
Did you hear that right in the end? He was like, I thought they got bought out. And looky here, in December and this month, or well, actually last month now, I'm looking at the day I'm editing this. They made the deal last month, basically.
Hot Ones, the YouTube staple interview show, just got sold, with BuzzFeed announcing today that they sold First We Feast, which is the studio behind the show that makes a bunch of other content. And the sale reportedly coming in with a price tag of $82.5 million. A price tag that was notably paid by a group of investors, including an affiliate of Soros Fund Management.
The whole thing was just opposite for him. Everything he guessed. It's crazy, man. Like, honestly, I've never seen somebody do that. I mean, consecutively. But it's amazing. Let's get to the next clip. Let me know what you guys think about this.
Kudos, because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
All right, let's get to the next clip. This one's called What Happens Next Part 1. Now, I have not really seen the whole thing. I've only seen like right in the beginning, and I will be playing along with you guys. This is like kind of a game to know what happens next, basically, right? And what does Brendan say next? What do you think he's going to say next? So we're going to play this game together and see how it goes.
What happens next?
Dude, the Royal Air Force or something, I think that's what they're called, man. Some of the baddest ass dudes I ever met.
Bear Grylls.
Is he one?
Yep, he used to be.
You mean Bear Grylls, bro?
Here's how the game's going to go. It says A, stands corrected. B, doubles down. I think he doubles down. B.
No, Bear Grylls.
Beer Grylls is a early onset sign of diarrhea.
I don't know what station you're watching. He's
Beer Grylls.
He was gonna be like the number 2, 3 pick. Now I think he'd be number 1. He's such a freak. Oh, and looks like a chocolate goddess. He's a
chocolate god, not a chocolate goddess.
Here's the next one. A, Oh, you're right. B, just goes. I think B, just goes.
No. Goddess.
Bring him up.
Ramsey beats
Yeah. Look, if you guys know one thing about Brendan is that he does not give up.
somebody that was really good.
Ramsey's, he's off and on. Great guy.
Oh, he's a
young.
great guy.
Young
He got-
fighter.
Ramsey got robbed.
Robbed.
in
He
his
got
last
fucked,
fight.
man. Holy fuck. I cannot put enough Steve in this goddamn coffee.
Yeah, it's really
Bro.
sad.
The next one here, it says A, I mean stevia. B, I call it Steve. I'm gonna go for B again, because I don't think he's ever gonna correct himself here.
I call it Steve, Callan.
All right. Hey, bud.
You
How
need
you
a little
doing?
Steve? What's up, brother?
Gay. He's calling it Sugar Steve. Yeah, nothing gayer than that, dude. Non-derogatory, I mean. It's lame. Anyways, let's go to the next one. There's a part 2. So, let's watch part 2 and let's keep playing the game.
Kudos, because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
What happens next? Part 2.
What happens next?
Used to talk about in the 90s, and it actually happened. But do you remember the first companion? And Brian you go, what should we call it? Brian goes, let's call it a silly goose time. And you go, do you remember that?
Here's the next one. It says A, doesn't repeat the joke. B, Lopez moment. I think he repeats the joke. I think it's B again.
You go, what should we call this show? And you're like, no, I got it. And Brian goes, no, let's call it a silly goose time.
Oh my God, we're not even watching this fight.
Yeah. Lopez moment, I guess it's just like a brain dead moment. I think that's what it means.
B, let's take a little break.
Yeah.
And if you need a break, I will be.
So he said the name of the place wrong that he's gonna be attending. A, does he say Appleton, Wisconsin, which is the right one, or B, Appleton, Wisconsin? I think B again.
I will be in Appleton, Wisconsin, September 10th.
I was on the phone with her and she goes,
Yeah, the double look of Brian, like, wait, what? Is that a real name? Is that a real place?
I'm wearing a butt plug for you. And I was like, well,
say less. You're right over.
Yeah, I was like, that.
She put, this was the culprit.
That's naughty.
What's a butt plug do?
Here's another one. A, goes in the butt. B, goes somewhere else. I'll say A.
Because apparently
I thought it was supposed to be.
Brian's wearing one right now.
I thought it's supposed to be for vaginally, like it's like. Space up.
No.
Yeah, my dad came
I guess it was B. I'm not too sure about
by
that.
to my apartment. We just had food, Korean food, and Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
A, does he say Shake Shack? B, does he say Shake Shake? I think B, Shake Shake.
Shake? What do you love? Shake Shake? I call it Shake Shake. That's what me and the kids call it. Shake Shake.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, me and my kids too. Let's go to the next one.
Kudos, because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
Part 3. What happens next?
What happens next?
Now I follow her.
But it's also a trucker.
Yeah, well now
I'm not saying they don't look good, but I mean
truckers are tough.
They're
Dude.
tough.
That's what I'm saying.
I come from a
You
trucking
might
family.
throw some hands.
They're tough.
You're lucky that was in my.
What does he say here? A, my brother asks J. B, Uncle Charlie, my grandpa. I think B, because it sounds super ridiculous. A is just too easy. I mean, he does say ask J a lot, but I will say B.
You're lucky that was my Uncle Charlie, my grandpa.
Uncle Grandpa. Yeah, I remember that show.
I'd be in trouble.
You would have got all the problems.
I'd have my hands full.
They like to fight, so.
Yep.
And they have full sleeve
At that
tattoo.
point,
This kid is on a rocket ship to superstardom. You know him as Sugar. I call him Sean O'Malley.
Okay, does he say here, A, today we're eating Italian. B, we're feeding him penis. I would say B again, because it just sounds crazy enough for him to say it.
And I'm feeding him pitas.
Chipotle style, tomato base, a little bit of smoky.
Does he say A, let's chef talk? B, just goes. I think B, just goes.
I
But you fancy yourself a chef too, right? People tell me you like to cook.
I like to cook. Yeah, I ain't no chef, but I love cooking. And yeah, so I've even got my own like a cooking channel. So I even do.
All right, guys, there you guys have it. Did you guys score a perfect game, or did you guys just completely bomb this whole segment here? Let me know what you guys think about this. Oh, and also comment down below. Let me know which one was your favorite. Maybe you guys have a personal favorite one.
Oh, really, dude?
Let's get to the next clip. This one's called "We Got Another One, Boys."
And I know people are like, oh, Rogan did what he thought was right. Agree 100%. And thank God Rogan did that to a certain extent.
Now, context of this short clip is that he's talking about the legendary moment where Joe Rogan said, I think you'll be surprised, right?
If you had a wrestling match with Cain Velasquez, how well do you think you'd do?
Straight up wrestling?
Yeah.
I think people would be surprised.
Really? You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be surprised.
You guys don't remember that little small recap here is basically Joe Rogan said to Brendan, like, hey, I think you should quit fighting because you're not elite enough. Maybe you should just pursue comedy, right?
I think you'd be surprised. I really do. I you up. And I say that as a friend and a guy who loves you. I think he's just on another level.
Brendan, I guess in hindsight is kind of just saying how he actually feels now. Here's the clip here.
All this to say, and I know people are like, oh, Rogan did what he thought was right. Agree 100%. And thank God Rogan did that to a certain extent. But also, if that Rogan wasn't such a close friend, I would have said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've been doing this day in, day out with the best in the world. I know exactly how I stack up against these guys.
That's the thing, though. Like, Joe was there when Brendan lost fights, right? He was a commentator there. He saw him get beat up.
So that's where I'm going. Me going, I think you'd be surprised, is me going, you kind of don't know the way the sausage is made. Now, you've seen it, but I'm talking the way the sausage is made being on those mats.
It's still like chomping at him, right? Like the way that Joe, I guess, in a way dissed him and said, hey, man, I'm your friend and you suck at fighting. And Brendan is saying, like, the good thing about Joe is that he's a friend. And if it were to be anybody else, I'll say, F off, right? Basically.
But also, if that Rogan wasn't such a close friend, I would have said, you don't know what you're talking about.
Let me know what you guys think about that.
I think you'd be surprised.
Let's get to the last clip. So this clip is called Dream Guest, Mr. Schaub. Now, context here, Matan is speaking to Whitney Cummings. Whitney tells Matan, like, who do you want to be your next guest? Who's your dream guest? And this is what Matan says.
I will have
Who's your dream guest to have on?
If I give you the real answer, I'm going to have to cut it out.
Then do that. By the time you said that, you could have just done it.
Definitely. He's the number one.
Do you think he'd do it? I bet he would do it.
I don't think he'll do it.
Do you want me to ask?
But if you ask, don't tell him that you did it. Just tell him that you saw the podcast and he'll... Tell him if he does it, he'll get a new car.
He has a lot of cars.
That's why. That was
So you'll get him like a fuchsia Ferrari.
Oh, I'll get him one of those mini ones on the table.
You're kind of obsessed with him, huh?
No, you just mentioned not to talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason why. Like, there's a lot of problems between them too. And she has been like shit on before, right? Like on the roast.
You think I want to be that kid whose credit on stage is that kid from TikTok? That's like Whitney's credit being the girl who Brendan Schaub.
Hold on, it was 10 years ago.
Yes, 10 dog years ago.
Okay.
Everybody knows that it's a joke now, right?
But you would want to have him on.
Yeah,
but
he's
you
up there.
roast him on a lot of episodes.
I don't talk about.
So by the time he comes on, like, what would you even
I'll just
say?
hold this episode until he comes on.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna ask him now. You told me not to ask.
No, I said ask him, but don't tell him. Don't tell him that you came on the episode. Just say that you saw it and that it would be a great look for him.
But I don't lie.
Oh, but don't lie. Okay, fine. Then just don't even don't mention that you came on the podcast. Just tell him.
But he'll say, "Have you done it?"
I'm not sure. Tell him you're not sure.
Have you DM'd him and asked?
Oh, I probably sent him at least 7 emails. Like if I go to my email list.
Do you think he's seen them?
If that was true, right? I don't think he would want to be on it because Matan is such a troll. And the easiest person to troll on is Brendan.
It's rewind time.
You had a camel toe.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
wow.
You remember that?
No, I don't.
That's what you
We'll have to blur that out.
A moose knuckle?
That's just my nuts.
That's in this room.
That's me nuts. That's me nuts.
That's a vagina.
Those jeans
That's
were
a denim vagina.
Those are big nuts.
How do you have his email address?
I go on IMDb and I send it to his agents.
Then he hasn't seen it.
I've also sent him one personally, probably a couple times.
I don't know.
I do whatever email is public.
Yeah, then he hasn't seen it.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm sure you do it. I mean,
If you're not a chick, Brendan's not gonna reply to you, bro.
he was a fighter. I'm sure he'd be.
I've
down
had
to-
fighters on here before.
Yeah, I'm just saying he'd be.
But I've
down.
had good fighters on the show before.
Okay.
Oh,
Like real fighters. Anyways, let's
I
move
love
on.
that you did that to really, like, nail it home. Like good fighters.
It was an interesting one.
Brandon, was he a good fighter? To some degree, yes. He got up to the UFC. I mean, to be a good fighter, you have to be good. The heavyweight division is dangerous as hell. He got himself in the top 10, but, you know, a lot of people can't get themselves like that with just being a one-trick pony, you know, punching power or getting yourself through it, like just being a wrestler there. But yeah, like, like if you wanted to hide who he was talking about, I think they did the worst job, but it was blatantly obvious that they were talking about Brandon here, you know? So let me know what you guys think about this. I'll end this.
We're playing your life.
All right, guys. So I'll end this video here. Let me know what you guys think about the whole thing. Comment down below. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys for another video. Bye-bye.